This nigga's going around hitting people with syringes. Influencer Amine Mojodi sentenced for twisted viral syringe attack prank. An idiot. Look at Esau just standing there as he got a fucking syringe in your arm, bro. I'm beating the fuck out of him, man. I don't know. I would have to. I might have to catch a body that day, man. This shit like this, man. This. Some of you kids out there, man. Amini Mojito. I saw this a couple days ago, but I thought it was fake. But now that it's on the news, I kind of believe it. Somebody would do that. I mean, it's the end of. Why wouldn't you do that? TikToker jailed after injecting strangers as a prank. He thinks this shit's funny, huh? He thinks this shit's funny. Yo, fight that motherfucker, man. Fight that motherfucker, man. Throw a brick at that mother. I don't know, like, yo, man. We got to get the hell up out of here, man. There's another prank that's going on in New York where the kids are getting on the subway surfing, and dying, man. As a matter of fact, let me find that. This is that folly set in great dignity, man. As a matter of fact, let me go to Google. Subway surfing in New York. Sister of girl killed while subway surfing on J train in Brooklyn describes unimaginable. What are you kids doing out there, man? 2 girls die in subway surfing attack. Look at this shit.
It's a new warning out of New York City, tied to the dangerous stunt known as subway surfing. This week,
I would whip my kids' ass if I saw. I don't have kids, but if I did, I wouldn't have kids that same day, because I'd whip their ass to hell and back. There's no way in hell these kids need their ass whipped, man. Okay, the scriptures tell you to whip your kid's ass, man. Esau don't want you. This is why your kids are on the top of, and this is how these Brooklyn bridges, they got this high ass overpass. They probably falling 30, 40 feet to a 50-foot drop to their death, man. Idiots.
Weekend officials say 2 girls were found dead after playing the game, which involves riding atop a moving subway car.
This is really tragic.
While subway surfing has been a problem for decades, some argue social media is helping to fuel the latest surge of deadly stunts. New York City officials say in the first 6 months of this year, more than 1,800 subway surfing videos have been taken down.
It's hard to see a child get killed that way.
And the problem goes well beyond New York City, including this footage showing people riding an upside-down tabletop tied to a moving vehicle. Just weeks ago, in a similar stunt, a Pennsylvania teen was charged with involuntary manslaughter after allegedly killing his 17-year-old friend who'd been sitting atop the upside-down table. Prosecutors are calling it a dangerous TikTok challenge. In a statement to NBC News, TikTok says any content that promotes dangerous behavior, which may lead to serious injury, is a violation of our community guidelines and will be removed. When NBC News searched for subway surfing on TikTok, the platform replied with this message, urging users to learn how to recognize harmful challenges.
They're doing it for, maybe a little bit of the prestige, but what's it all for if, it's over in a moment?
Tonight, New York City's top transit official warning the trend is not surfing, it's suicide. Aaron McLaughlin, NBC News.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top.
So y'all want a trend, right? That's what y'all want to do? You people, it's that folly. It's that folly, man. Folly set in great dignity. And this dude, him doing this, regardless of the bad publicity and all that, he's going to get a bunch of followers now. People are going to follow him because of this. After he's, let it explain it. I already kind of know what his sentence was.
A French influencer has been jailed after he filmed himself playing a twisted prank on random bystanders, in which he made them think they'd been injected with a mystery substance. Elon M., who goes by the online moniker Amin Mojito, shared the videos which went viral in June, just before the country's World Music Day. At the time, France had been shaken by recent unfounded rumors of syringe needle spiking attacks at festivals and parties. As a result, people were outraged when they saw the influencer post the footage of himself pretending to stab multiple horrified pedestrians with an empty needle. The 27-year-old was arrested shortly after the videos went viral.
27 years old, bro. You should know better than that, man. You know, folly set in great dignity. You do that to the wrong person, you can get shot. You can go, clearly, you don't give a fuck, man. It's probably worth it to you to go viral and have all these followers, have these $1 million, you know, when you really think about it, when you really analyze what he's doing, it's actually genius. You know, given the context of what he's doing. First of all, he's getting, it's on the news. So millions of people are seeing this, okay? On top of that, his channel, I think per million views, I think is like, I forgot how much, I don't know how YouTube does the algorithm works, but he's basically, and you know what? He's probably did it all in his head. If I do this and get this and get this many views, I can get this much money. You know, yeah, but you might go to jail. But at the jail time, according to the law, this is how evil this shit is, man. People will look at a path and see success in wickedness, man. Like, okay, if I do this, and you know, I might get in a couple fights, whatever. That's fine. I'd rather get into a fist fight. I might even lose it. It's all right. But in all actuality, it might go viral, and I'll be worth millions of dollars at the end of it. Like, that's how people are thinking. He's not thinking, let me go to school, get a job, you know, be a functioning member of society, and you know, get it by my bootstraps. He's not thinking like that, man. And majority, and if you Subway surfing, eating Tide Pods, and doing shit like that, you're doing the same thing. People are dying from flipped over tables and surfing the ground with a moving vehicle, strapped to a moving vehicle. That's folly, man. It just shows you this world it has to be destroyed, man. If this is how you entertain yourself, if this is how you got to make money in the future, this is why the scriptures tell you that no flesh shall be saved. Your kids who go to school, coming back home from school, they're getting on top of a damn subway and killing themselves, man. Foolishness.
And was kept in solitary confinement for his safety during his pretrial detention for nearly 2 months. In court, prosecutors described Mojito as a public menace for the fear he caused to numerous people seen in the clips, who told the court they experienced genuine panic after thinking
Esau fucking love jabs, man. He's just sitting there like, oh, what are you doing there? Not moving. He don't know. He's just like, what are you doing? Idiot.
they'd been injected with an unknown substance. Prosecutors also alleged that Mojito's viral prank may have caused the phenomenon to become a reality. During the World Music Day festival in June, police received 145 reports of needle spiking. However, few cases were confirmed. The defendant told the court, "I didn't think it could hurt people. That was my mistake. I didn't think about others. I thought about myself."
Wait until you find out how much time he did for this shit. That's what blew my whole mind about this. Someone like that, he needs to be executed. Like, I don't know what the law is about that, man. But a menace like that needs to be publicly, something need to happen to him. He probably need to go to jail for a long time for what he was doing. Well, wait until you find out how much time he did for this shit.
According to French newspaper Liberation. Mojito also said the twisted stunt was intended to draw a buzz for an online physical exercise program and to revamp his online persona. Prosecutors last month requested a sentence of 15 months in prison under
15 months in prison. 15 months in prison. A year and 3 months, man.
electronic monitoring, including 5 months suspended. On Friday, the Paris criminal court sentenced Mojito to 12 months in prison, 6 of which were suspended, for violence with a weapon that did not result in...
So 12 months in prison, six of those are suspended. So you're going to do 6 months with 6 over his head when he come out. For running around with a syringe needle and poking people with it. That's that. What kind of world are we living in, man?
Incapacity for work, Liberation reported. He was also ordered to pay a fine of over $1,700 and is
$1,700 fine for doing this shit.
banned from owning or carrying a weapon for 3 years.
Oh my fucking. This is just ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. Esau, you need to fucking go. I blame this on Esau. And then he lets him back out. But you worried about all these criminals and shit. This is what he does. His laws are fucked up, man. Excuse my language. It just aggravates me seeing this devil be in some position of power. And look at what goes on in his kingdom. It's pathetic. Your kingdom sucks. Your queendom is horrible, man. You don't know how to rule. All right? Ecclesiastes chapter 10. And verse 6. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. Let's look this up. As a matter of fact, let me look this up in chat, man. Real quick. Really quick, man. Ecclesiastes 10, verse 6, meaning. The verse observes a reversal of proper order in society, where foolish and unworthy people are exalted to positions of power or honor, while the wise or capable, the rich, are humbled or ignored. But the folly being set in great dignity is when you do things like this and you're rewarded for this wickedness, for this foolishness. You can play Fortnite and make millions of dollars. You can go to school and actually go, and learn be a nuclear physicist, someone who knows how to play a damn video game. Somebody that's willing to run around with a syringe and prank people with one. Millions of views. That's that folly being set in great dignity. But yet men who are talking about the Lord and how he's going to destroy your ass for not keeping his law, statutes, and commandments, nobody wants to hear that. I don't want to hear that. That's foolishness to them. Showing you this world's absolutely backwards. And the rich are the Israelites. We sitting in a low place because the sins we committed. Okay, we're the rich. We're rich in faith. We got all the promises. The world belongs unto us. Okay, we got the Most High God on our side. Esau got the fatness of the earth, but that's going to be taken away from him. He has his sword. He has all the nuclear capability. He has the excellency of his excellency mounts up to heaven. All his technology, satellites, GPS systems, and all that junk that he has, that he glorifies himself with. You look at Palantir, they can zoom in on your head and count, see what you're doing when you're reading a book. They can know what page you're on. That shit's folly and foolishness, and the Lord's gonna show him when he returns. Okay, because he gave him all this technology on the left hand side, but it's not gonna be compared to what we're gonna have in the kingdom, because his power is carnal. It's temporary. The scripture that talks about I think it's Isaiah 31. I can't. It's Isaiah 30 something. His horses are flesh and not spirit. KJV. Something like that. Isaiah 31, verse 3. It says, I'll start at the top. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. Egypt is America. And stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many. And that's what kings and, that's what America's known for, their chariots, their horses, which is their nuclear capability. It tells you in Deuteronomy, the 17th chapter, let me jump over there, that you don't want to multiply horses like Esau. This is for kings to understand, though. It might be Deuteronomy 17 and 16. I start at 15. Deuteronomy 17, verse 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. Which means you don't want to be setting any of these heathen nations to rule over you, because they're not going to rule according to the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai. Okay, they're going to have you go the wrong way and get you destroyed. Okay, they're not bringing you, they're going to try to get you further in some way, somehow away from the Lord. That's why you want to set a brother, not just any brother, okay, a brother that's righteous, that understands who he is according to the Bible, and he's going to establish the law, like Yahushai. Okay, Deuteronomy 17, verse 16, but he shall not multiply horses to himself, nor cause the people to return to Egypt, to the end that he should multiply horses. For as much as the Lord hath said unto you, ye shall henceforth return no more that way. Okay, so you can't be following these damn heathens. Deuteronomy 17 and 16, let me grab that. Deuteronomy 17, verse 16, meaning, I'll go back up to the folly in a second, but this verse is part of God's instructions concerning Israel's future kings. Here the Most High warns that the king of Israel must not depend on worldly power or military strength, symbolized by horses, especially by returning to Egypt to acquire them. Because Egypt in that time, you know, they were powerful, you know, and you thought your alliance with them was you're going to be in good standard. You know, nobody would attack you because they knew you were aligned with Egypt. Multiply horses. Horses were ancient symbols of military power, wealth, and prestige. Hebrew sus, Strong's H5483, horse, war horse, symbol of strength in armies. God forbids kings from relying on such carnal might instead of him. So even with that, you know, you ain't supposed to do that. Now, this is in Deuteronomy, 17th chapter. So this is why this Bible's not for everybody, because people read this book and don't even know what the hell they're reading. This is instructions for a king to know, if he's ruling, what not to do. Okay, return to Egypt. Egypt represents bondage and worldly dependence. Okay, just like we said, these alliances that you might have with the world, that same trust that you have with the world, you want to redirect that trust and give it all back to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, because these heathen, they're going to disappoint you. Okay, guaranteed. 98% of the time they will. The other 2% is because the Lord's probably or 1%, the Lord's probably dealing with them, or they did it unknowingly. They helped you out. The Most High brought Israel out of Egypt by his power. Going back there for help would be spiritual regression, trusting in men rather than God. And that's a lot of people's mistakes right there. Trusting in men rather than God. Okay, you want to get out of the habit of trusting in men. And you might do it in subtle ways. You know, a lot of people don't even know why they do the things that they do. They just go with the flow. They just go along to get along. They just do it just to do it. You know, if you're around people like that, you need to really analyze your mental health, man. And make sure you trusting in the Lord, man. Because it's so easy to go kiss somebody's ass. That's how Esau teaches you how to be. Fake it until you make it. So a lot of people operate under that spirit. But that spirit's only going to get you it'll get you in the door. But that's not what's going to make you endure until the end. You might get a couple likes from people, and who gives a fuck about any of that? The point is to endure until the end. If you ain't doing the work, if you're not occupied in prophecy, if you're not spiritually really invested with the Lord, you're going to fail. Okay, you're not. That's that weak, soft, get along, respect the person's, all of that. Man pleasing, it's not going to get you far, man. It's not, because when affliction comes, especially when your ass is locked up in a prison, okay, or if you being tortured, What's going to sustain you, man? Ultimately, you need the Lord. All right. And if you weren't doing the time when you had the liberty to actually serve him with truth and sincerity, with a pure heart, going back to being pure, man, no other reason why you're doing it. Okay. You want to make sure you have that pure faith, man. It's not tainted by any worldly connections. Okay, you don't want to be in that. You got to put off that old man. Old man wants to be accepted by the world somewhat, some way. Fuck this world, man. Excuse my language again. But forget this world. Okay, this is not your rest. It also foreshadows alliances Israel would later make with Egypt for protection. And that's what you're gonna do, man. You're always looking for protection, looking for comfort, not trusting in the Lord, a lack of faith, unbelief, incredulity. That's ultimately what it is. Ye shall henceforth return no more that way. Once you get this knowledge, you ain't supposed to return that way, no more that way. There's one way to go. It's the straight gate. Okay? Well, the only one you want to be accepted by is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. To the best of your ability, you got to walk the path. Sometimes it might be lonely in some paths, but it might not be in other points. But whatever it is, hey, you got to take it cheerfully. Okay, you want to be 100% relying on the Lord. The Lord set a boundary. Israel must never look back to the system of oppression he delivered them from. Spiritually, this also warns against returning to sin or worldly reliance. Okay, pray more. Psalm 20:7, some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we will remember the name of the Lord our God. Israel's strength was to come from the Most High, not military power. And he tells you that. He tells you that in Exodus 14:14. The Lord shall fight for thee and you shall hold your peace. That's what he's here to do. Okay, you're going to hold your peace. Isaiah 31:1. I just read that. 1 Kings 10:28. Solomon imported horses from Egypt in large numbers. A direct violation of this law, showing how even wise kings fell into disobedience by seeking strength from Egypt. I don't remember Solomon that going off while on horses. Now the wives, yes, but the horses, I think you going off on that, chat. I think he fully relied on the wisdom from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, especially when he prayed for it. Okay. So put some respect on him about that. Now, if you want to talk about the women, yes. Well, let me read that 1 Kings 10:28 before I rebuke what they're saying. 1 Kings 10 and verse 28. 1 Kings, I want to see what Pambondi was talking about, because she was going in on these devils, man. 1 Kings 10 verse 28. And Solomon had horses brought out of Egypt and linen yarn. The king's merchants received the linen yarn at a price. And a chariot came up and went out of Egypt for 600 shekels of silver, and a horse for 150. And so for all the kings of the Hittites and for the kings of Syria did they bring them out by their means. So, hey, what are you supposed to do? The heathen don't need all these damn horses and chariots. Okay, so they brought it to Israel. He didn't do anything wrong with that. He said you violated the law. Oh, man, that's funny. But the most part, like it says, is to trust in these alliances. You know, trusting in the horses and stuff like that. You know, trusting in these other nations to help you because they got some type of your military alliances is what I'm trying to say. That's what that's talking about, not the fact that you actually getting horses. He was a rich man. The Lord blessed him. Okay, Exodus 13 and verse 17. God didn't lead Israel back toward Egypt after deliverance, a symbol of separation from their former bondage. Yeah, he didn't deliver us out of Egypt to go back. Okay, Exodus 13, it said, and 17, I just want to read it. God leads the people. And it came to pass when Pharaoh had let the people go, that Yahweh led them not through the way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near. For God said, lest peradventure the people repent when they see war and they return to Egypt. So look at that. He even cared about you being scared of the Philistines. That he had you go another way in case you get scared and think, oh shit, let Egypt come help us against the Philistines. But Yahweh led the people about through the way of the wilderness of the Red Sea. So he split the sea for you in order for you to let's look at where. Give me a map of the Red Sea where the Israelites crossed. Images. Just give me the damn map and shut up. Where's the Red Sea? Is this one? Let's look at this one. The Gulf of Suez. Okay. I don't. Where is it? That's not a good map. Let's find a better one. What's this? Exodus route. Let's visit this. All right, Red Sea Camp 17 through 25, 16 kilometers. Damn. Wilderness of Shur. Was it? I know that wasn't 50 miles. Okay, so right here, what's that part called? Succoth. I can't find a decent map. Maybe this one's good. Yeah, it's kind of. Where's the map? Give me this shitty ass map. Looks like sort of at the top of the. I don't know. I can't find a good map. Gulf of Suez. Long story short, he split the Red Sea instead of going through the land of the Philistines. Exodus 13, verse 18, but God led the people about through the way of the wilderness of the Red Sea, and the children of Israel went up harnessed out of the land of Egypt. And Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had straitly sworn the children of Israel, saying, God will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones away hence with you. And they took their journey from Succoth and encamped in Etham, in the edge of the wilderness, and the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light to go by day and night. He took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from before the people. Long story short, man, you ain't supposed to multiply horses. But let me keep going. It says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. So that's the main point of it, man. You don't look at the military might and stuff like that and think, I'm going to be all right. No, you want to trust in the Lord that he's dealing with you. Isaiah 31:2, yet he also is wise and will bring evil, and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. Now the Egyptians are men, this is the point, and not God, and their horses flesh and not spirit. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that hopeth shall fall down, and they all shall fail together. Yeah, so you trusting in all that, and you hand in hand with them. you're gonna be destroyed. What's that precept? Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished. Proverbs 11 and 20. I was just thinking that, but I don't know why I can't remember it. Proverbs 11 and 21. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. So even though you join in hand with them, they're not going to be unpunished, man. Meaning they're going to get punished. If you hold hands with them, you probably going to get punished too. Because can two walk together unless they be agreed? Okay, two got to walk. Y'all agree with each other. All flesh consorteth to its like. Ecclesiasticus 13, verse 16. All flesh consorteth according to kind, and a man will cleave to his like. You're going to cleave to your like, man. That's how men operate. Thus saith the Lord. They cleave to their like. Okay, meaning that people like animals naturally associate with others who are similar to themselves in interests, beliefs, and background. So but it goes even deeper than that. Y'all all got something in common, man. All got something in common. This proverb emphasizes the natural human tendency to form communities with like-minded individuals and suggests that one's character can be known by the company they keep. That's right. They can be known by the company they keep. Okay? Just like it says in Amos, I believe the 3rd chapter. Can two walk together unless they be agreed? You gotta agree with one another, man. Okay? So you wanna look at a person, just look at the type of people he surrounds himself with, and you'll get an idea of what type of person he is. Okay? Very simple. If you shouldn't be chilling with a bunch of gangsters if you're not a gangster. That's one situation. Oh, you know. But I want to see something about Pambondi, man, because she was going in on these doubles. I might have to follow her. Is this... Attorney General. She was cooking them, man. She was saying, all you guys are on the Epstein's list. I don't think her channel's not fully... Everyone's talking about her, but she ain't talking about herself. That's good. Matter of fact, let's just go to Pambondi on YouTube, see what pops up. She's all 2 hours ago. Attorney Pambondi testifies before Senate Judiciary Committee. One hour ago. Let's see what this is.
Thank you, Chairman Grassley and Ranking Member Durbin, and every member of this committee. I'm grateful for the opportunity to testify in front of you today. First, please join me in remembering, as you said, Chairman Grassley, all the Jewish people who lost their lives in the October 7th attacks 2 years ago today.
Oh, shit. Is it October 7th? It is. Damn, time's flying, man.
Also, please let's pray for all the hostages and the families of all of those individuals. They are a critical reminder of our central mission here at the Department of Justice, protecting the safety and security of the American people. That is why.
I don't care about her opening statements, man. Bring me to the meat. Oh, yeah, she was this dude. Pambondi calls out Senator White House over Jeffrey Epstein connection. Oh, my God, man. This is just too funny, man. I love it.
Treasury compiles suspicious activity reports, referred to often as SARS, that DOJ receives automatically. Hundreds related to accounts of Jeffrey Epstein. How many of those Treasury SARS did you or Director Patel investigate?
Senator, I'm not sure if you're concerned because you took money, I believe, did you, from Reid Hoffman, one of Epstein's closest confidants, not only once but twice in 2018 and 2024, if that's correct. But Senator, did you ask Merrick Garland any of this over the last 4 years when he sat before you? This investigation has been going on. This investigation was closed. Did you ask Alex Acosta that?
When you and Patel came to office, you said you would look into this. There were hundreds of suspicious activity reports. Some people would deduce.
Listen, man, she just said you, let me see, Mr. Whitehouse, Senator Mr. Whitehouse. Sheldon Whitehouse is an American politician and lawyer serving as the junior United States Senator from Rhode Island. Let's see if this is him. Yeah, this is that man, Sheldon from Rhode Island, a seat he has held since 2007, a member of the Democratic Party. He served as the United States Attorney for the District of Rhode Island from 93 to 98, and as the 71st Attorney General of Rhode Island from 99 to 03. He was elected to the Senate in 06, defeating Republican incumbent Lincoln Chaff. He was re-elected in 12, 18, and 2024. A political progressive and climate hawk, Whitehouse became chair of the United States Senate Committee on the Budget in 2023. He has given hundreds of Senate floor speeches about climate change and asserted that politically conservative dark money in politics, particularly the politics of the United States dark money, refers to spending to influence elections, public policy, the political discourse, where the source of the money is not disclosed to the public. Ooh, Sheldon. Bondi said you got something to do with, and it's funny how the people who are supposed to be in positions of power to bring justice in those areas are the ones who are most compromised. Okay? And that's why this place is wicked. Exodus 23 in verse 2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. Okay, so you don't want to follow a multitude to do evil. Most of the people are taking money in the position that you were given to you. You don't take money too. Now you expose that whatever's going on, man. But they don't. What they do is they follow the person before them. They all are compromised by this Epstein and other wickedness. Okay? That's why they get into these offices in order to get a chance to rub shoulders in certain positions. They'll do anything to get there. Just like a lot of you Jakes, you'll do anything to get a record deal. Okay? That's why people like P. Diddy can thrive in a environment like the rap game. They thrive in areas like that because you covet things of this world. So they can get you to do anything. And they make sure you do it all too. So they can compromise your ass. Just in case he ever needs to get, if he ever gets locked up, he can get 50 months for the shit he's done, even though people know he should probably get put to death, honestly. Some of the shit he's associated with. And he don't even be hiding the shit. He'll be right on TV, got little girls, little boys, your favorite singer. He touching on them, man. And he's backed up by these damn devils too. Showing you this place is wicked as hell. But if you in a righteous society, someone like that wouldn't be able to thrive. He'd be been gone and put away. Okay? Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. Okay? When you wrest judgment, you, instead of executing the judgment that's necessary for the crime, you wrestle with it. You try to figure out a way, well, you know what, yeah, he murdered somebody. The law says he has to die, but you know, if you get me on the back end, we'll switch it to a manslaughter and you know, and drop the other charges. Now you're not supposed to do that. Give you a lesser charge. No, you need to be judged. This is what you did. This is the punishment. Execute it. That's what you put in that position to do. They won't do that. Now, if you give me some money, you give me a gift, then I'll let that slide. That's why these laws need to be implemented. That's the only time righteousness, because by you doing according to the law, that's righteous. Okay, but he don't even uphold his own law. He got laws on murder and all of that, but he don't execute them. He don't execute them, man. And that's why there's a bunch of civil unrest and a bunch of issues like that. You trying to check somebody and they checking you about some Jeffrey Epstein shit, and you on the damn list. You got reports of you hanging out with the dude. You shouldn't be in that position of power, is what I'm trying to say here. It's the White House.
From the fact that they are called suspicious activity reports, that there might be suspicious activity. And yet you seem to have looked at 0 of those suspicious activity reports involving Jeffrey Epstein accounts. Let me ask you something else. There's been public reporting that Jeffrey Epstein showed people photos of President Trump with half-naked young women. Do you know if the FBI found those photographs in their search of Jeffrey Epstein's safe or premises or otherwise? Have you seen any such thing?
You know, Senator Whitehouse, you sit here and make salacious remarks, once again trying to slander President Trump left and right, when you're the one who was taking money from one of Epstein's closest confidants, I believe, I could be wrong, correct me, Reid Hoffman, who was with Jeffrey Epstein on multiple occasions. And
why are you taking money, Mr. White House? See, this is what the scriptures call and their tongue shall fall upon their own, KJV, on themselves or something like that. Psalm 64:8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Let's look at this. Psalm 64, verse 8. Psalm 64, verse 8. Psalm 64, verse 8, meaning. This is a beautiful example of Psalm 64, verse 8. The verse describes the judgment of the wicked, especially those who use their words, their tongues, to harm the righteous. God turns their own speech, deceit, and plots back upon them. Their slander and lies become their downfall. It is poetic justice. The evil they plan with their mouths returns upon their own heads. Beautiful. You trying to get her down, talk shit about this, that, and the third. You can't. This is why taking a gift isn't good, man. Receiving money from a demon like that, now you're compromised. Your words don't mean anything anymore. Okay? That's why that's power. But even though in the context of everything that's going on, the Lord's using it to show you that he's exposing you. He's exposing you. It don't need to be everyone needs to know and stop. It's showing you the whole government's corrupt, first of all. That's number one. I just read the background on Mr. Sheldon Whitehouse, man. He's been doing this, 98? He's been in this political arena for a long time. And look at Biden. He got all different types of shit on him, too. And you don't hear nobody talking about him anymore. What about his nasty ass? What about his daughter's diary? And the shit we were going through when he was president. Every president got some weird shit. Even Barack Obama, man. You know? All these conspiracies around him, you can look it in yourself. I'm not going to get into all of it. They were calling him the Antichrist and all this other shit. Then you look at, the bloodlines, and it's just wicked as hell, man. This shit needs to stop. It needs to stop, man. But no one's gonna speak up against the real issue, which is Amalek. Everything is the top of the elites that you don't want to know about. Okay, and the type of things that they're doing. Eventually, it's they already being exposed because the prophets know this is Amalek we talking about. But when you got the truth, you're gonna see that this place ain't what you thought it was, man. There's a lot of enchantments going on. Okay. Make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. Hebrew Nafal. Strong's H5307. To fall, be cast down, perish. Their tongue, Hebrew Lashon, meaning their speech, language, words, or gossip, causes their own ruin. Because as he's trying to ask her about Epstein files and gets cut by her saying you have receiving money from somebody that dealt with Epstein directly, shows you that. And plus, she's not perfect. She's the one. That's the same woman that we looking at who said, I'm gonna go get these Epstein files. I'm gonna bring them out. And then she said there is no Epstein file. Oh, he wasn't on the list. Oh, I know I said this, but it was. And now your tongue's falling upon yourself. Now you're really exposed. Both of y'all exposing each other, pretty much, because you said there was no list. Now you're saying there was one and that he was getting money off it. So she's lying too. Can't trust that damn devil. God makes their own evil words come back in judgment. All that see them shall flee away. To flee, take flight, be terrified. Those who witness God's judgment on the wicked are filled with fear and separate themselves from them. That's right. That's right. They're going to try to separate themselves from all of this shit. As a matter of fact, I want to see what happened with Macron's prime minister. I forgot about that. Why did the prime minister of France quit his job? France's Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu resigned on October 6, 2025, less than a month into his term, after a key political ally withdrew support for his cabinet. His resignation was triggered by the deep political divisions in the French parliament that made it impossible for him to form a stable government. So he quit. He quit, man. The political turmoil has been exacerbated by the following factors. Deepening budget crisis. France is currently dealing with a budget deficit of 5.8% of its gross domestic product in 2024, prompting the need for budget cuts and tax increases. Oh, France is going through hell. Failed attempts at cooperation. After being appointed in September, Lecornu tried for weeks to build consensus across the political aisle and promised a break from previous policies to press a budget. However, parties focused on positioning for the 2027 presidential election instead of cooperating. So he's positioning himself for the 2027 presidential election instead of cooperating on the issues that are at hand. He's more concerned about, you ain't gonna have no 2027 presidential election, man. Okay, this place is you almost done, man. You don't see what's going on. Criticism over cabinet picks. The final lineup of ministers angered opponents and allies. A crucial coalition partner, the conservative, less Republicans, LR, pulled out because they felt the government did not reflect the promised changes and took issue with some appointments. So does the same thing what Duck was doing, setting up people who are not bringing forth their promises. I'm going to end the war in 24 hours. Grocery prices are going to be low. I'm going to give you no taxes on your extra you work 40 plus hours. I'm not gonna do anything about that. All lies. What does he want to do? He wants to bring the Insurrection Act. He wants to bring martial law, digital currencies. He wants to He wants Pfizer to mass produce your medication. He wants you to go on Trump RX website and get a 50% discount. Come on, man. I want to build a cryptocurrency. You can literally go on Robinhood and buy his crypto coin, man. He's a salesman. He's pitching. He's selling this place to the garbage, man. This place is done. Political gridlock. Lecornu's resignation marked the 5th prime minister to step down in 3 years. Damn, the 5th prime minister to step down in 3 years? Nobody wants to be over there, man. Highlighting the extreme political deadlock that has gripped France since President Emmanuel Macron's party lost its absolute majority in snap elections in 2022. And he got a low rating over there. Nobody's fucking with him. He's so worried about Ukraine and we got to fight the Russians. He's fully neglecting the people. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's civil unrest. Of course, civil unrest is going to happen over there, too. It's going to happen over there, too. But Macron's a puppet, man. He's just going to do what Babylon tells him to do. He ain't got no control over himself because he's compromised. I mean, look at his wife, man. Look at Bridget Macron. Smacking him on planes. And he rules over a whole nation, man. You think he's going to get you to... And then I wonder what Candace Owens did. I thought she sued her, Bridget Macron, to prove that she was she is what she says he or she or whatever they were saying about her original sex or whatever like that. She was suing Candace Owens or something about that. Showing you this place is wicked, man. And that's the type of people that rule. They put the most vile men at the top. Lecornu's predecessor, Francois Bayrou, was also forced to resign in September 2025 after losing a confidence vote after his proposed austerity budget. That's a day ago, man. He just resigned. Listen, whatever. I'm out of here. They can't do nothing for this place, man. Only thing you can do is fulfill prophecy. You don't want to go to war, then you're going to have to come up against the whore. And nobody wants to do that. Okay? All that seeing shall flee away. Spiritual understanding, this verse reveals the self-destructive nature of wickedness. Evil men who speak against the righteous with lies, accusations, and schemes will ultimately be destroyed by their own words. And that's what he's been using his mouth to do. He comes out calling you all different types of shit, but at the same time, accusing you, calling you the T word, locking you up, unrighteous decrees, propaganda. But yet, as he does that, the Lord's making him do it to himself too. So he's killing 2 birds with 1 stone. 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and himself. Come on, man. The Lord's beautiful, perfect. He's perfect, man. He does it perfectly. With the same woman that was lying a couple months ago about the Epstein list. Now she's exposing his ass on the Epstein list. I thought there was no list. I thought Trump wasn't on it and all this other stuff. You see how the Lord does it? Okay, Psalm 7:15. He made a pit and digged it and is fallen into the ditch which he made. His mischief shall return upon his own head. Evil rebounds upon the evildoer. That's right. He made a pit and digged it. Proverbs 12:13. The wicked is snared by the transgression of his lips, but the just shall come out of trouble. It says their own words trapped them. That's right, man. The wicked is snared by the transgression of his lips. You know, it tells you in Revelation how the accuser of our brethren, day and night, that's what he does. He's constantly accusing you. Creates an environment where you transgress every single law. And then he accuses you to the Heavenly Father. And according to Psalm 68:20, he has the power over life and death. So he's the one who allows you to die. And that's what he hopes for all of you. You know, the Lord is in control of everything, man. So you want to fear something, you fear the Lord. Fear the Lord, man. Proverbs 18:7. A fool's mouth is his destruction, and his lips are the snare of his soul. The tongue becomes the weapon of self-ruin. That's right. It tells you in Matthew the 12th chapter that every idle word. Matthew 12 and I think it's somewhere near the 50 something. No. Idle word. Matthew 12, verse 36. But I say unto you that every idle word that man shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. So you're going to give account for everything you say. And he's the accuser. Matthew 12, verse 36 means that on the day of judgment, people will be held accountable for every idle or worthless word they speak, as these words reveal the true condition of their hearts. The term idle refers to speech that is unproductive, lacking merit, or without reasonable cause. In the broader context, Yahushua emphasizes that a person's words serve as evidence of the inner thoughts and attitudes of their heart, leading to justification or condemnation by their own words. And he was using his words to destroy us. Okay, a lot of people do. That's what they do. You can't control people's mouths. You know, who knows? People like to use a slandering tongue, talk behind your back. Who knows what type of shit people are saying about you. But, you know, it's better to be the one who ain't talking shit. It's better to be the one who, when he actually does say something, it's something that is productive. It is something that's with merit. It's to build you up, to exhort, to edify. That's the best position to use your tongue for, you know, as a sword. Okay, using it as a means to let me grab it. Like I'm thinking of 2 Corinthians 10 and 5. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God. That's what you should be using your tongue for, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach. That's what you should be using, casting down these imaginations. Isaiah 8 and 20. To the law and to the testimony. This is what you should be using it for. If they speak not according to this word, it's because there's no light in them. So you want to be letting your light shine in this time. Revelation chapter 11, verse 3. And I will give power unto my two witnesses. Now this is a sevenfold scripture or multifold scripture. Okay? Because the two witnesses goes into the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. Okay, and it also goes into the law and the prophecies. These are two witnesses against the Esau too. You know, because when you understand the law, you see that he don't follow any of the laws. So that's a witness against them. You know, you look at any law in the Bible, he breaks every single law. So that's a witness to show you he's Esau Edom. In the prophecies, you know, you read Isaiah, the 34th chapter. What else? Isaiah 63. You know, my sword shall come down upon Idumea. Let me grab that. Isaiah 34. And I think 6 and 7. Same precept that he brings out in the Bible Compact Dictionary. Isaiah 34 and 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. Okay, so that's a prophecy. Idumea, you can look this up. It's talking about Esau, the so-called white man. Idumea is the Greek name for Edom in the ancient region south of Judea, now part of modern-day Israel and Jordan, notable for being the home of Herod the Great. The region was first populated by the Edomites, who were described in the Bible as Israel's twin, but also their harshest enemy. Following the Babylonian exile, the Edomites, also called Idumeans, resettled in southern Judea, and their territory eventually became known as Idumea. But look what it says. The Greek name for Edom. So the Greeks switched this word to Idumea. And this just shows you, man, the Greeks, who are the Greeks? The so-called white man. Okay? That's him. He don't want you to know who Edom is. That's why he switched it to Idumea, and that's why you think Isaiah said this. This is a Greek word. Why is this in the Old Testament? The Greeks weren't alive during Isaiah's time. Why is it saying Idumea here in the scriptures? This is a witness against him, that he's the wicked. People of his curse to judgment. Okay? Showing you who he's talking about. Revelation 22, verse 18. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, and God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, God shall take away his part out of the book of life and out of the holy city and from the things which are written in this book. So he took away Edom. He inserted Idumea. Why? Because he was trying to hide himself. But Revelation 11:3 is exposing his ass. Who did that? Who converted this book? Who did that? It was him. It was Esau. Just like he put in Acts, he put Easter in the Bible. That's adding to the Bible, or taking something out and doing what he got to pay for that. But he's the one that's cursed. That's why he's doing it. The Lord allowed him to do that because he's the one that's cursed, and he can kill two birds with one stone. He can still put judgment on him, use that as a stumbling block to you for you on undesirables, and strengthen up the faith of his elect. Okay, so the prophecies and the law are two witnesses against him. And it also represents Elijah and Moses. Okay. Who, if the Lord wants to, can raise them up in these last days and give them power. Okay. He's in charge of all of that. He's done brought Lazarus back from the dead. The man who touched those bones, I forgot what scripture that was. Let me get that. When the dead man touched the bones and came back alive in the book of Kings, KJV. It's 1 Kings 8 or something like, no, 2 Kings 13:21. The story of the dead man revived by touching bones is in 2 Kings 13:21. In the King James Version of the Bible, during the burial of a man, raiders were spotted. So the dead man was hastily thrown into the tomb of the prophet Elisha. As his body touched Elisha's bones, the man was revived and stood up. Yeah, the Bible's crazy, man. The Bible is crazy. 2 Kings 13:21. Because people think this time is crazy, man. This world's always been crazy. 2 Kings 13. The death of Elisha. 2 Kings 13 and 20. I'll just get to the point. And it came to pass as they were burying a man that behold, they spied a band of men, and they cast the man into the sepulchre of Elisha. And when the man was let down and touched the bones of Elisha, he revived and stood up on his feet. Insane, man. So don't think that the Lord can't revive a man from the dead. He's done it multiple times. Okay. When the Lord revived Lazarus from his grave. John 11. So you're going to give power to his two witnesses. You best believe that. John 11. And let's see. John 11:34. And said, Where have ye laid him? They said unto him, Lord, come and see. Yahushua wept. Then said the Jews, Behold, now he loved him. And some of them said, could not this man which opened the eyes of the blind have caused that even this man should not have died? Yahushua therefore again groaning in himself cometh to the grave. It was a cave, and a stone lay upon it. Yahushua said, take ye away the stone. Martha, the sister of him that was dead, which is Lazarus, saith unto him, Lord, by this time he stinketh, for he had been dead 4 days. Yahushua saith unto her, said I not unto thee, that if thou wouldest believe, thou shouldest see the glory of God? Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead was laid, which is talking about Lazarus. And Yahushua lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me, and I knew that thou hearest me always. But because of the people which stand by, I said it, that they may believe that thou hast sent me. And when he thus had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot with grave clothes, and his face was bound about with a napkin. Yahushua saith unto them, loose him and let him go. So he revived him. Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which Yahushua did believed on him. But some of them went their ways to the Pharisees and told them what things Yahushua had done. So Yahushua got the power to do the same thing that the Lord did with that man who fell into the delicious grave. Ultimately, he revived him. Okay, so point of the matter is, he got the power to do that. And the terrible part about it is, what did Moses do? He brought forth the plagues. What did Elijah do? He brought fire down from heaven. That's power. Okay, Revelation 11:3, and I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days clothed in sackcloth. You know, and this precept is it's twofold, because the prophesying here is when we were in slavery. Okay, we were prophesying by actually living the text, not knowing who you were, you know, according to Jeremiah 17:4, you know, and just being in the mourning state. That's what sackcloth represents. And it also applies to us coming out of that state, standing upon our feet too, wearing our garments, you know, and, you know, brothers tell you it's from 1619, when the Northern Kingdom came here on slave ships, to 1970, 69, which is 350 years. Because the 1,260 days is 3.5 months. No, 1,260 days. 1,260 days represents that 350-year period. And but from what I heard, I think they break it down where we're somewhat still in this time, which shows you that the Lord don't really be dealing with the numbers 100% like on the money. But when you look at history, you know, just like the time during the Byzantine Empire, you know, when you look into the history, you know, Apostle Tahar goes into it all the time, how in 96 AD, that's when Jake started to come into the power in the Roman Empire. Nerva, let me see when Nerva. So this is just another example of showing you, when did Nerva rule? Okay, Nerva ruled as Emperor of Rome from September 8th, 96 AD to 98 AD. So that would mark the beginning of Jake getting back into power. Okay, so which means, is longer than 1,000 years, going back to Revelation, the 20th chapter. If you go from 1453, when Constantinople was taken down, then I'll bring you 1,000 years from that will be 453 A.D. Okay, but Jake was getting into power at this time. But Esau whitewashed everything, so it's all through the spirit, man. It's all through the spirit. But that's what he said. I mean, of course, if you look at him right here, because Nerva's known as the five good kings or something like that. Who are the 5 good emperors? 5 good emperors are Nerva, Trajan, Hadrian, Antonius, Pius, and Marcus Aurelius. Look at, got a beard on their face. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Greeks shave their beards. That's Esau whitewashing Jake, man. This is why you gotta have the spirit in this time, man, because this devil, he lies about everything. All got Jake's, and he calls them the good emperors. He knows he's the wicked. Oh, man, Esau, you a funny dude, man. You a funny dude. Nerva, 96 to 98, the first. So the point is, with the timing and stuff. So we're still in that time. All right, we still clothed in sackcloth. We still mourning. We still hastening the day. Majority of us still don't know who they are, according to the Bible. I mean, a lot more than before. I mean, especially if Christians are making videos on how the Hebrew Israelites are wrong. At least there's Hebrew Israelites, you dummy. They're so dumb, man. At least they know. Even if they scoff and mock, it's okay, because that's their mouth falling upon themselves. Just making a video about any Israelite group, even the IUIC. If you're a Christian, your tongue is falling upon yourself, man. Because IUIC, they still tell you you're Israel. Okay. They might not know the name of the Lord, but there's no way in hell you in the IUIC you never heard of Great Millstone or ISUPK or any other Israelite group for that matter. So they brought a lot of people into the truth, man. So the Lord's not dealing with all these numbers, but maybe the Lord looks at it differently. 1,000, I'm going to see, what is that? 1,000. 1,000, how many days is that? Let me get this in the NLT. Sometimes when you add the numbers up, 1,260, so that would equal 9 if you add them all up. Because the Lord does deal with numerology. But I don't know what 9 means. I think 9 means power. Actually, no, 5 means power. I can't remember the other numbers. Yeah, I can't remember the other numbers. I can't find it right now. So that's the 2 witnesses. Let me see. Am I done with Pambondi?
Senator sitting right next to you tried to block the flight logs from being released. Yet you're grilling me on President Trump and some photograph with Epstein? Come on.
This is another one. John Kennedy clashes with Pambondi. John Kennedy. I couldn't believe it, man. Couldn't believe it. I don't want to watch a long, drawn-out video. Just get to the point. That's 11 minutes. 7 hours ago, 30 minutes ago. Let's see.
General, welcome. Let's suppose that I'm appointed special counsel at the Department of Justice.
Let's skip through
Of
it.
a crime or that could lead to other crimes. We
By the
frequently
United-
in criminal enterprises subpoena cell
By the
phones.
sitting United States Senator?
Senator, they would have to have believed you were part of a criminal conspiracy, is my understanding.
Would a judge have to sign off on it? On the subpoena?
Yes, Senator. Well, for subpoena ducas tecum, Jack Smith probably took it straight to the judge.
Now, the phone companies, particularly their general counsel, if they're worried about civil liability,
Man, I ain't listening to all this shit, man. She roasts his ass, too. You know, showing you that. Actually, is it this dude? It might be this dude. That's 8 months ago now. Ain't that dude? You know, so that's just their tongue falling upon themselves, man. I can't find it. Whatever video she was talking about.
Tonight, breaking news, air traffic control in multiple cities now affected by this government shutdown. Newark, Nashville, Dallas, Chicago, all among them. More air traffic controllers forced to work without pay, now calling in sick tonight. The FAA now warning at least 8 major air traffic control facilities facing staffing shortages tonight. What about the passenger planes in the air and authorities now warning of delays that have already begun? Tonight, the new threat from President Trump saying some federal workers who've been furloughed in this shutdown might not get back pay, saying some of the workers, quote, really don't deserve to be taken care of. Members of Congress still getting paid with no solution in sight. The fireworks on the Hill, Attorney General Pambondi and Democratic senators grilling her over the prosecution of President Trump's foes, including former FBI Director James Comey, and grilling her over the Epstein files. The White House tonight pleased with Bondi's performance. A medical helicopter crashing onto a highway. Drivers on that highway racing to try to lift the chopper up to save a member of the crew. The former NFL star quarterback Mark Sanchez tonight, the prosecutor in the case telling ABC News the charges against Sanchez could get more serious. The prosecutor arguing Sanchez was the clear aggressor in that altercation with the 69-year-old. What Mark Sanchez's family is saying tonight. Overseas tonight, it's been 2 years now since the October 7th attack by Hamas. Tonight, the high-stakes talks underway to end this war and what's now expected tomorrow. Back in the U.S. tonight, summer in October, temperatures in the 80s, but the front now bringing storms and heavy rain already moving in. Lee Goldberg on the big change coming, he has the forecast. The crane into a home, a truck with a crane on it lifting off the ground as that crane then smashes through the roof. The hot air balloon crashing into power lines. There is late word on the condition of the pilot tonight. And America Strong this evening, you have to see this. The woman in desperate need, the hero dog that went for help. How that dog knew exactly what to do. And you'll see it.
That's crazy, man. Trump suggests some furlough. I'm going to hear this.
Thank you. Meantime, tonight, with this government shutdown, the new threat from President Trump now suggesting that some of the 750,000 furloughed government workers told to stay home during this shutdown may not get paid for time lost. The president said today, quote, some people really don't deserve to be taken care of. He was asked what he meant by that. By the way, members of Congress are still getting paid through this with no end in sight. Rachel Scott at the White House.
Tonight, a new threat out of the White House. President Trump suggesting some of the 750,000 federal workers now furloughed without paychecks may not get back pay when the government reopens, even though...
You fucking devil, man. Probably all Jake, too. Let's find out, though. Salakia.
That is the law.
I would say it depends on who we're talking about. But for the most part, we're going to take care of our people. There are some people that really don't deserve to be taken care of, and we'll take...
I bet you was talking about you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. 100%. He likes to speak in code, and I'm telling you, man, that's why you got to get aligned with the scriptures. You way too comfortable, probably got a nice government job for years, got a house, you got the kids' college tuition ready to go. You ain't gonna want to give that up. He gonna be like, you want that? All right, well, you gotta take this MOTB, man. I'm telling you, it says both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond shall receive a mark in their right hand or on their foreheads, man.
Take care of them in a different way.
The idea of the president opens, even though that is the law.
I would say it depends on who we're talking about. But for the most part, we're going to take care of our people. There are some people that really don't deserve to be taken care of, and we'll take care of them in a different way.
The idea of the president deciding who will and who won't get back pay, a new fear for many federal workers. James Jones is a veteran who is now furloughed from his job as a maintenance mechanic in the National Park Service in North Carolina.
If we don't get back pay, that's going to be devastating for a lot of folks, a lot of federal employees. Because they're going to, they depend on that back pay money to catch up on their bills.
President Trump would not say which workers stand to lose that money.
Why do you say some federal workers should not get their back pay? Why do you say some?
Well, you're going to have to figure that out, okay? Ask the Democrats that question.
And Democrats say what the president is proposing defies a law he signed himself.
The law is clear. Every single furloughed federal employee is entitled to back pay. Period, full stop.
And even some Republicans tonight calling it, quote, a strategic mistake.
There's a lot of good, hardworking people out there. It's just, I don't think that is helpful discussion right now. Let's get out of the shutdown.
All right, so let's get to Rachel Scott live at the White House tonight. Rachel, as we pointed out, Congress still getting paid, but no sign of any compromise or any end in sight.
David, lawmakers are still getting their paychecks, but at this point, it does not even seem like these two sides are even talking. Tonight, Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries saying the White House has gone radio silent on these negotiations.
Rachel Scott again tonight. Thank you, Rachel. Now to the fireworks on Capitol.
They ain't even talking to you either, man. Imagine that, you've been working for the government. He's saying some of y'all ain't worthy to get paid. Some of y'all ain't worthy to get paid, man. Oh, man. Don, you got to get out of this mindset, man. Especially you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. Don't let this devil get you with his money, with nothing. You got to return to the Lord, man. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of that times, man. All this is all fake, man. He about to fail, man. He about to fall. All of this is about to fail, man. And you're gonna wish you had the Lord on your side in that day. Let me see what they're talking about with Pambondi.
Capitol Hill, Attorney General Pambondi and the Democratic senators grilling her over the prosecution of President Trump's foes, including former FBI Director James Comey, and over the Epstein files. The White House tonight pleased with Bondi's performance. Here's Pierre Thomas.
Tonight, a defiant Attorney General Pambondi, repeatedly clashing with Democrats on the Senate Judiciary Committee, accused her of allowing President Trump to weaponize the Justice Department.
What was once the Department of Justice has become the Department of Revenge and Corruption.
Bondi challenged on her move to prosecute former FBI Director James Comey, just 6 days after President Trump publicly urged her to do so, posting, "Nothing is being done, and we can't delay any longer."
I'd like to know from you what conversations you've had with President Trump about the indictment of James Comey.
Senator, I am not going to discuss any conversations I have or have not had with the President of the United States.
Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal showing a picture of Bondi at the White House the night before Comey was indicted.
That's a great
James
picture.
Comey discussed at that dinner?
I love that picture. That's a great picture, and there were a lot of people there that night.
The Attorney General also refusing to explain why the Justice Department closed its investigation into a close Trump aide, border czar Tom Homan, who allegedly accepted a bag stuffed with...
This dude just cracks me up, man. I gotta get a picture of Homer Simpson. He looked like somebody I know, man. That's not, it can't be Homer Simpson. Homer Simpson picture. No, that's not Homer Simpson. Fred Flintstone. Nah, he look. I think, you know what? I think that is. He does look like. Yes, he looks like John Goodman, who played Fred Flintstone. That's who he look. That's who Tom Homan looks like. He looks like fucking. This is a John Goodman. That's exactly who he looks like. Fucking Fred Flintstone, man. No teeth had
$50,000 in cash in 2024.
See, taking $50,000 in cash. Okay. That's that bribery. Damn, am I in the NLT? Oh, I didn't do it. Okay. That's that bribery. Job 15:34, for the good, godless are barren. Their homes enriched through bribery will burn. Nope. Tabernacles of bribery. Of course, I'm telling you. The Tabernacles of Bribery, KJV. Job 15:34. Let's go there. Here's the next verse. Job 15. Oh, it's the NLT. Did I? I think I am in a K. Okay, I'm in the NLT. That's why. Job 15 verse 34. For the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate, and fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery. So the congregation of hypocrites, which are these Edomites, these actors, they're literally actors too. When you look at, like J.D. Vance is an actor. Is J.D. Vance an actor?
According to Amazon.com, J.D. Vance was born on the 2nd of August 1984 in Middletown, Ohio, USA. He is a writer and producer, known for Hillbilly Elegy, 2020, 2024 Republican National Convention, 2024, and Tagesschau, 1952. He has been married to Usha Vance since the 14th of June 2014. They have 3 children.
I don't think J.D. Vance is that old. 50th Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, is not an actor. The misunderstanding likely comes from the 2020 film Hillbilly Elegy, which is based on his memoir and features an actor playing his character. So some nuance to it. Key facts about J.D. Vance. Profession: he is an American politician, author, and Marine Corps veteran. Memoir and movie: his 2016 best-selling memoir, Hillbilly Elegy. Let me look this up. Hillbilly Elegy is a 2016 memoir by J.D. Vance detailing his upbringing in a working-class Appalachian family in Ohio, exploring themes of poverty, addiction, and the legacy of trauma within his family and the broader white working class. The book gained by national attention for his... So he's not an actor. J.D. Vance, a former Marine. Someone played him in a movie. He wasn't the one playing himself. But who knows? Could be. But mostly a hypocrite. You act one way, but you're really doing something else. That's what a hypocrite goes into being an actor. And that's talking about Esau. Okay? Because he says that he is... he's a God-fearing man and all that. This place was established on Christian principles. That's hypocritical. He says it with his mouth, but his actions tell you he's completely against the Bible 100%. Okay.
part of an FBI bribery sting, a transaction allegedly caught on tape.
Is there a tape that has audio and video of the transfer of the $50,000?
You would have to talk to Director Patel about that.
No, I'm talking to you.
I don't know the answer, Senator.
Yet you do know the answer to that.
Don't call me a liar.
I didn't call you a liar.
Bondi declining to say what happened to the $50,000 in cash or whether Homan even took the money.
General, I said that.
Do you know sitting here whether
All
he
I
took the
know
money?
is that Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and FBI Director Patel said there was no case.
The Attorney General.
Yo, you know what, Pambondi? You're a really good actor, man. A really good liar. Really good, man. No wonder why he put you in that position. Okay, you need a high-level witch to be in a position like to speak lies and be comfortable. Esau does a great job at doing that. He lies so good that he could pass a lie detector, the lie detector test with his lie. Like, he'll truly believe the lie before he believes the truth. That's how wicked this devil is, man. He'll do you dirty and think he was actually doing something right in his mind. Scriptures tell you that the wicked are estranged from the womb, speaking lies. Let me grab that. That's how they actually are, man. The bitch should do all types of abominations, wipe her mouth and say she's done nothing wrong. You'll put her on a damn thing and she'll pass it with flying colors. Psalms 58:3, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. And that's why he surrounds himself with a bunch of these devils. Okay. Let me see. When the king surrounds himself with his officers of wicked, KJV. Something like that. I know, it's Ecclesiasticus. Take away the wicked from before the king, and his throne shall be established in righteousness. And that's what he does. I was thinking about Ecclesiasticus, but that's a good precept. In contrast, Proverbs 16:12 states that a throne is established by righteousness, indicating that wickedness in the king's court is an abomination that destabilizes his rule. That's right. That's not Proverbs 29:2. But yeah, remove the wicked officials from the king's presence, and his throne will be established through righteousness. But he don't want it to be established in righteousness. He want to be established in wickedness. His officers are wicked, KJV, Ecclesiasticus. Not Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiasticus. I should have put Sirach. Ecclesiasticus 10 verse 2. I think that's what I'm looking for. Ecclesiasticus 10 verse 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. That's not what I'm looking for. But yes, something about his officers are wicked. Yes, Proverbs 29:12. It says, if a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. Okay? And that's what he does. He hearkens unto lies.
General also grilled about the Justice Department's refusal to hand over all its files and to sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, and whether the president himself was named in the files.
So who gave the order to flag records related to President Trump?
To flag records for President Trump?
To flag any records which included his name.
I'm not going to discuss anything about that with you, Senator.
Eventually, you're going to have to answer for your conduct in this.
But as Democrats demanded answers, Republicans heaping on the praise.
Our families are safer because you are returning the Department of Justice to its core function, which is enforcing the law and locking up bad guys.
David, the White House said to be pleased with the AG's performance. This is former FBI Director James Comey, and Trump nemesis is due in court tomorrow morning to face arraignment.
Trump nemesis, he called him. James Comey is Trump's nemesis. Yeah, that's funny.
On charges of lying to Congress and obstruction. David?
And you'll be following that for us, Pierre Thomas, tonight. Pierre, thank you. Now to the story.
Peter, grow your damn beard out, man. For crying out loud. Go read your Bible. Get a beard on your face. Be a man, not a little boy.
Storms and heavy rain tonight. A cold front moving in from Kentucky right through the Ohio Valley. Then
I don't care about a cold front in Kentucky. Or your helicopter. Or Sanchez. Let's see what Israel's talking about.
And what's now expected tomorrow. Ian Panel in Tel Aviv for us.
Real hope tonight, 2 years after Hamas' deadly attack on Israel, as peace talks ramp up in Egypt. Top officials from the US, Qatar, Turkey and Israel set to join tomorrow as momentum grows for a deal to end the war and bring all the remaining hostages home. Israel today pausing to mark the moment Hamas attacked, killing 1,200 people, taking 251 more hostage.
On the morning of October 7th, 2023, thousands of Hamas militants stormed across the border into Israel, many of them coming here where there was a music festival taking place. At the sound of gunfire, panic and terror spread through the crowds as they tried to escape as a gunman opened fire.
Tal Haimi died defending his kibbutz, his body still being held by Hamas in Gaza. Tonight, his cousin Udi praising President Trump's push for peace.
Has President Trump's direct involvement in this made a difference?
This would not have happened. This wouldn't have happened without the direct involvement of President Trump. I have no doubt in my mind.
Our team on the ground in Gaza, where 2 years of bloody war have left over 67,000 dead, according to the Hamas-run health ministry. Ahmed Temraz skeptical a deal can be reached, saying Gaza is a graveyard for the living. Our lives are not a toy in your hands. It's enough.
David, President Trump today meeting with freed American hostage Edan Alexander at the White House and the family of Omar Nutra, whose body is still being held by Hamas, saying tonight, we are very close to making a deal that'll bring peace to the Middle East. David?
Ian Panel with us from Tel Aviv, who's been covering this war from the start. Ian, thank you. When we come back, a hot air balloon crashing into power lines, the images coming in.
Who cares, man? Who cares, man? I mean, they're on Isaiah 48 and 22. Because even if he bring peace over there, it's not going to be peace. Isaiah 48 verse 22. There is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked. And I'm going to end it there. Lord's will, this was edifying.